Hi everyone, and welcome to Dave's Brick House, the home of all sorts of Lego videos, all under one roof. Today we're talking about, well, roofs. In the video for my second houseboat mock, I went for a bit more complex roof design. In that video, I mentioned that I could go into more details on that, and people expressed interest, so let's dive in. For the houseboat mock, I wanted to go for a more complex roof design, so that started with figuring out what the second floor wall outline should look like. Since this was my first attempt, I didn't get too radical, just a jutting out of one wall section. This felt like a good place to start, and as a bonus, it gave me a nice big area outside for some deck chairs. Once I had the wall outline figured out, I started thinking about what the roof should look like. I wanted something of the typical A-frame design, but with a bit of character. One of the first things I had to decide was what the surface of the roof was going to be. As I mentioned in the mock video, I had a lot of 1x4 dark green tiles on hand, so I decided to try using those. Knowing I was going to use tiles for the surface meant that the supporting structure needed to be plates, so now I was off and running. I built a plate panel for one side of the main roof. One of the roof sections is just a regular rectangle, so I started with that to make things easy. With the first roof panel built, I had to start working on how I was going to support it. The walls were the easy part, just the typical brick assembly with slope pieces on top. Next up, the harder part, figuring out how to support the roof panel and also how to deal with the gap at the ridge. In my beach house mock, I used a technique for securing the roof that worked really well, so I decided to use that again here. I took a couple of 2x2 round plates and capped them with a 2x2 boat plate. This part isn't really needed, it's just cosmetic for me, the builder, since no one sees it. In the beach house, though, these were fastened to a flat plate and just hung down a bit into the floor below. For the houseboat, these are on a sloped plate assembly. That meant that I needed to build something for them to rest against, otherwise the panel would just slide right off. To solve this issue, I added a 1 plate thick strip to the base plate assembly. I had to use trial and error to figure out the exact placement and height of the 2x2 plate assemblies, but in the end it worked quite well. Next up was the gap. I first built the second of the main roof plates, and then started playing around. I happened to have a decent amount of double slope pieces on hand and thought they might work well. So I built a plate beam that spanned the two side walls and fastened the double slopes to those. The end result worked great, with just a minimal gap at the ridge. The second main roof panel took more trial and error because I had to leave a gap for the third smaller roof panel, but both it and the third roof panel are built using the same techniques. One last bit of trim is that I added 1 plate thick underhang to the eaves. This hides the top of the slope sections on the walls, and the black also goes really nicely with the green plate. I hope you found this helpful. If you think you'll build something using one of these techniques, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If these techniques help you to come up with other cool ideas, let me know those as well. So there you go, some roof techniques. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the bell icon to get notifications of new videos. Thanks for watching, and go build something that makes you smile.